students, welcome to CC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. So in this series of Introduction to Programming in C++, today's agenda is constructors and destructors. In the previous lectures we have seen that in a class we can have members that are data members and member functions, and from those member functions, so basically in order to recap that, I can say data members are actually variables and values, attributes for the class, and member functions are the actually snippet or a snippet of code, or we can say functions which are used to perform some modifications onto those data members. So here in a class we have data members and member functions both. So now coming to the today's agenda, which is constructors and destructors. Constructor is also a kind of member function, I can say. It is a special method which is invoked automatically at the time of object creation. Now what is the use? It is used to initialize the data members of the new object. Generally that is the use. And the constructors in C++, I am saying it is a special method. Now why it is a special method, or why it is a special member function? Because it is having the same name as that of the class or structure, we can say. So the constructor in C++ has the same name as that of the class. So for example, if the name of the class is box, then the constructor of that particular class will also be named as box. And in C++ it is called when any instance of the object or any instance of the class or any object is being created, it is automatically called by the compiler. Now another speciality behind your constructor is why again it is known as a special member function, because it does not have any return type. And why I am saying that special member function, one more speciality, that it must be placed in public section of the class. Now what is this public section of the class? So as of now you can say, or you can hold on to this fact, that public section is some such section of the class which is accessible even from the outside. So yes, because we are going to create the object, and at the time of creation this constructor has to be called. This cannot be placed inside the private section, it has to be placed in the public section of the class. If we are going to place the constructor inside the private section of the class, we will not be able to instantiate that class, or simply we can say that in that situation we will not be able to create any objects of the class. Now what if a constructor is not being specified? So constructor, it can be specified by the programmer or by the user, and there can be a number of constructors. I will be coming to this concept in a short while. So if a constructor can be specified explicitly or cannot be specified explicitly. So if a constructor is not specified, not written by the application programmer, a C++ compiler is going to generate a default constructor for the object. So that means every time whenever you are creating an object, a constructor is invoked, even if you have not specified it specifically, or even if you have not written any constructor code. And that default constructor, whenever I am talking about, if the constructor is not specified by the application programmer, C++ compiler is going to generate a default constructor for that object. And what actually the default constructor is? The default constructor is the constructor with no parameters and having an empty body, nothing in the body, along with no parameters. Now coming to how to use constructor, what are the types of constructors in C++? So there can be two types of constructors if we talk about C++ thing. One is default constructor, another one is parameterized constructor. In some of the materials you can have, there can be three types of constructors: default, parameterized and copy constructor. Copy constructor also we will be covering later, but presently we will be focusing on the two. One is default constructor, another one is parameterized constructor. So I have already told you, a constructor which is having no argument is known as default constructor, and it is invoked at the time of object creation. Now let's see how this constructor is being used. So let us try to understand the concept of constructor with the help of a program. So here I have written two usual statements which are hash include IOStream and using namespace standard, and there is a class employee, and within the public section, then public and followed by colon, that means within the public section of the class employee I am declaring or I am defining a constructor. And as I am saying constructor, that means that name of that particular member function will be same as that of the class. So name of the class is employee, so as your this constructor will be named as employee, and as I am not going to include any parameters here, because this is the first type of constructor which is default constructor, not the parameterized one. I will be covering parameterized one as well in this lecture. Then within this employee member function or constructor, I have written just one cout statement which says default constructor invoked, and that's the end of the class, which is signified which is shown by the curly closing curly bracket followed by a semicolon. So class employee is having just one constructor in the public section of its own, in which one cout statement which says default constructors invoked is being printed or being used with cout, I can say. Now how are we going to use this? In this we have started with our main function from where the execution begins, and I have made two objects of class employee. So by employee E1 I have created one object of class employee and the name is E1. Similarly on the second line I have written employee E2, that means another instance of the class employee has been created and the name of that instance is E2, and then the usual statement return 0 because main is having an integer return type, and this is coming to the end of the program. So now when are we going to execute this program? What are we going to get? So the execution begins from the main. So the first statement sets employee E1. So I have told you that whenever an object is being created, a constructor is being called. So here compiler is going to look for whether a constructor has been supplied by the programmer, yes or no. So it came to know that yes, a constructor has been supplied by the programmer. So that constructor, that member function, that special member function is being invoked, and what is happening? So for at the time of creation of E1, that particular function is being invoked, and it says default constructor invoked as the print statement, as the cout statement. So the output having the first line default constructor invoked gives us the guarantee that the constructor which is supplied by the programmer has been invoked. Similar thing happens for the second object which is E2. At the time of creation of E2, another again the next thing, that particular constructor is being invoked, and the statement we have got in print situation is default constructor invoked. So what is actually happening here? The constructor which is being supplied by the programmer is being called at the time of creation of the objects, because in main, if you can see, we have not written anything else. We have not used any dot operator in order to call any member function. So that means we have not written E1 dot employee or E2 dot employee. We are not explicitly calling the constructor function. Constructor is automatically being called when an object is being created. So at the time of E1 it is called once, giving us the print as default constructor invoked, and at the time of creation of E2 again default constructor invoke is being printed. So that means twice, as we have created two objects, two times that constructor has been called, and hence we have got two output statements as default constructors invoked. Now imagine that there is a situation in which that particular constructor is not being supplied. That means it is not having anything as the class definition is concerned. You are having just class employee, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. So that means nothing in that class employee, and we are creating the objects of that class employee inside the main by saying employee E1. So what will happen is with this, so if there is no constructor being supplied by the programmer, a default constructor by compiler itself will be invoked, and that constructor is not having any parameters and not having any body. So these two statements, default constructors invoked twice, will not be printed, but yes, there is a guarantee that there are two objects of class employee E1 and E2, and those two objects are being created, because every time you create an object, a constructor is being called, whether you have if you have supplied it explicitly, that constructor will be called. If you have not supplied it explicitly, a constructor, an automatic constructor given by the compiler, will be called. But there is a calling of constructor behind every object creation, that we can say. Now coming to the next, which is parameterized constructor. So parameterized constructor, as the name indicates, till this point we have seen default constructor, that is the constructor without parameters, and now we have parameterized constructor, that means a constructor along with the parameters, or the constructor which has parameters. Now what is the use of supplying the parameter inside the constructor or inside a special function which is actually being called at the time of object creation? So the idea here is to provide different values to distinct object. So that means, now one thing which is very, very clear from this concept of parameterized constructor is it is perfectly possible to pass arguments to the constructor, and these arguments are going to help us initializing an object when it is created. So for example, let's say I am having an HR application which says that every time an object is created, and now what is that object? An object is nothing but an kind of instance of the class employee. So every time a new employee joins the organization, I'm going to create one object, and with that object, that employee is going to have one ID and one name along with its salary. So the ID, name and salary of employee E1 will be obviously different from employee E2, and the application logic says the other things, for example the demographic information, your address, home address, permanent residence address, the current residential address, and so on and so forth, will be set later on, but as and when your employee joins in. So that means as and when you are going to create the object which is representing an employee, you are going to give the employee ID, name and the salary to that particular employee, to each and every employee basically. So these three arguments we need to set, or we need to pass whenever an object is being created. So here we have the use of a parameterized constructor. Now how can we use this parameterized constructor? Let's see with the help of one more example. So again here we are having the class employee, in which in the public section, now please make a note of it, I am saying public section, which is indicated by public and then colon. There are three, we can say, parameters or 3 data members. One is integer ID, that's a data member, you can also call it as an instance variable. Then you have an string name, that is also a data member or an instance variable, and similarly you have your salary, which is the type of a we can say float data type. Now within this employee we have written one constructor. Now we are going to recognize it. Why it is a constructor? Because it is having the same name as that of the class. So name of the class is employee, so is the name of the constructor is employee, and here I am passing 3 things. One is integer I, another one is string n, and third one is float s. And within this employee constructor, what I am doing, I am supplying I can say initializing the value of id by I am giving the value of n to the name, and I am giving the value of s to the salary. And within the public section only I have written void display, and this void display is doing nothing, but it is printing id, name and salary followed by a we can say a line change. So what actually is happening here in this public section, I have taken 3 instance variable. The value of these 3 instance variable will be set by the constructor employee, which is going to be called every time you are going to create an object, and display is a function which is going to print the value of these. Now please notice employee, as the name suggests, the class is employee, so as the constructor is employee, and constructor is not having any return type, not even void. This is a very important point. So there are some specific signals which tell the compiler that this is a constructor function, and this being a constructor function needs to be invoked at the time of object creation. So first signal is, one is it is having the same name as that of the class, another one is it is having no data type, not even void. Now after defining the structure of this class, how are we going to use this parameterized constructor into our program? This we can demonstrate with the help of a main function. So integer main and then void. So employee E1 is equals to employee, and then there are 3 values which are being passed. Now see what is happening. So here I have created one object of class employee E1, and that is getting the value from employee, and then within the parameters we have passed 101 which goes for ID, Sonu which goes for name, and 8900 which goes for salary. So 101 is ID here, Sonu is the variable name or the value of the variable which is used there for the name, which is n, and S8900 is the value of s, which is going to be used for salary. Now see what is happening with this line. I can say there is an object E1 which is being created, and that object is of the class employee, and while creation of this object 3 values have been passed, 101, a name, and 8900, and when the object is being created, automatically constructor is being called. Now it is going to, your compiler is going to look for a constructor definition which is parameterized and having these 3 parameters. So after matching the parameters of this called function and calling function, it is going to call that parameterized constructor, and hence an object E1 will be we can say initialized with these value 101 Sonu and 8900. Similar thing, one thing which is worth noticing here is this is not the only syntax of creation of even object or any object of employee. There can be other syntaxes also, but for the sake of understanding I have taken this syntax. So again, for the next object creation, I have told you employee E2 is equals to employee and some other 3 values. Now till this point, what actually has been accomplished? So basically there are 2 objects which are being created for that class employee. One is E1, another one is E2, and those E1 and E2 are having the values of ID, name and salary as 101 Sonu 8900, and for the second object the value of ID, name and salary is 102 Nakul and 5900. Now these objects are ready, objects have been created. Then using the parameterized constructor, we have given initial values to the objects as well. Now next thing is we are calling that display function by using dot operator along with the object. So object name E1 dot operator dot display and then E2 dot display, and whatever is being written within this display function, that is going to be taken care of, and that display function is saying to print the values of ID, name and salary with respect to E1 for the first call of display. So the output will be 101 Sonu and 8900. For the second call of display, it's going to be E2 dot display. So that means the values for the object E2, which are 102 Nakul and 5900, will be displayed, and hence you will get an output of 102 Sonu 8900 followed by a line change, and in the next line it is going to see 102 Nakul and 5900. So this is what the use of parameterized constructor is. That means as and when you are going to create the object, you are going to supply some specific values to the object, and those values will be different for each of the objects by default, we can say, but we can have common values as well. So basically when an object is declared in a parameterized constructor or by using the parameterized constructor, the initial values have to be passed as arguments to the constructor function, as we did in the previous example. And here the normal way of object declaration is not going to work. That means we can say object E1, we have already given one parameterized constructor, and we are not calling that constructor, and we are just saying employee E1. So that normal way of object declaration will not work here. Now I was saying that that this is not the only way as of calling the parameterized constructor, as it was previously. I have quoted employee E1 is equals to employee, and I have given the parameter values. So that is known as an kind of explicit call. So employee, or here I have changed the name of the class, I can say, though there are can be 2 ways to call the constructor. One is the explicit way, another one is implicit way. So explicit call to the constructor says example, where example is the name of the class, example E is the name of the object, is equals to example 0,50. So 0,50 you can say are some parameters which are to be supplied to the parameterized constructor. So that's an explicit call. Coming to the implicit call, you can just, so this explicit call we have seen in our previous example also. Now coming to the call which is implicit. So implicit calls just says example E, and then within the parentheses you need to supply the parameters of those parameterized constructor. So there can be 2 ways to call constructor, one is implicit, another one is explicit. Now what are the uses of parameterized constructor? So parameterized constructor basically, as we have seen, that it is used to initialize the various data elements of different objects with different values, at the time of their creation. Now, this is very important, at the time of the creation, at the time of object creation. Now, we can have overloaded constructor. Overloaded constructor, that means many constructor. One is having one is default constructor with no parameters, another one is having some parameters will be taken as default parameters, and some is having all the parameters. So, we can have more than one constructor in a class, and that mechanism is known as constructor overloading. So, constructor overloading, yes, we will be looking into detail when we will study the term polymorphism or overloading specifically. So, that time we will be covering in a lot detail. So, in this lecture what we have seen is we have studied about the constructor, which is a special member function invoked at the time of object creation. Now, that can be of two types, could be a default constructor or could be a parameterized constructor. So, parameterized constructor is used to initialize the data elements of different objects with different values at the time of their creation. So, this is the use of parameterized constructor. So, hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you for patient hearing.